All right, here we go. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, coming at you live from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. It is a Doors Open Wednesday. Yes, in fact, between one fern. Doors Open Wednesday. Look at that. The fern is back for us behind us. Let's go.
Nice.
Need that back there. Very, very busy Wednesday as we have, and it is so nice down here today. Like, if there's ever a day to make yourself down to Borrelli's and hang out, like, this is just like, right now, as soon as I got here and I stood in this spot and I felt the breeze and I felt the good vibes from Tommy, who's back, by the way. Missed his first show in 69 episodes last week, Tommy did, and he's back today. And I just want to just forget about the kids and everyone else and just stay here all day after the show and just sit here. And I mean, it's just all that I want right now. But unfortunately,
New shipment of spiked 8.
I'd probably get in trouble if I did that. But either way, away we go. Super busy Wednesday, Doors Open Wednesday at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. We will talk today about the end of the United States men's soccer team's campaign at the World Cup. Man, what a... Yeah, go ahead. No, do the other thing you do. Man, did they fool me. I mean, honestly, same old for the United States. Completely outclassed against Belgium on Monday night in Seattle. So we will do a little bit of that, talk about the last 8. There are 8 good teams left in the World Cup quarterfinals, which will begin tomorrow.
This just in, Egypt should have been one of them.
I don't think so. I think that there was actually a lot of complaining and belly aching from Egypt. A little bit too much. You got a 2-0 lead with 10 minutes to go. How about you don't blow it? How about that?
Maybe it should have been 3-0.
You know what? Maybe
it should have been 3-0.
Maybe it's possible. Maybe you shouldn't have beat the hell out of the other team the entire game, and that was kind of their strategy. But
we will get into it.
We will get into it. It's either here nor there. So lots of World Cup talk today, despite the fact that the United States are now banished and thrown off the island for the FIFA island for the rest of the World Cup. The Yankees lost in Tampa last night. They did win a game there on Monday, which, I guess is a positive because Schlittler pitched well, but I guess you could say it's same old there too. I mean, this is how bad it is for the Yankees. They even lost a series to the Twins this past weekend. Something that they never do, which is very surprising. So we've got that. The Yankees still have tonight and tomorrow with Tampa as well. So still a chance for them to lose 3 out of 4 in this series against the Rays. The Mets continue to do historic things. It's not often you score 12 runs and lose, but the Mets did accomplish that last night. It's not often you score a 3-run Little League homer and still can't win. Still can't win. The Mets accomplished that last night. So we have that. We'll do a little bit of one very interesting local NBA story because LeBron still hasn't picked a team. And now the word's out that maybe either he wants to or the Knicks are interested in him. So I think we have to discuss that at some point as well. Mike Carver along with Paul Cuthbert down here at Borrelli's. Hi, Paulie. How are you?
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's nice to be back. It seemed like a little longer. Maybe it's just because Tommy wasn't here last week. Maybe that's what the distance feels like.
John was great.
Johnny was great.
Did a great job.
Johnny Bartender stepped in and did a fine job. So we got our cold beers, and that's
well. Now you got to start a new streak, Tommy. See, that's the thing. See, Tommy goes down. He's 69 shows in a row. Tommy was here, or 68. This is the 7, right? Because the 69th show was Johnny. Now we slide back in, Tommy, for show number 70, and he'll carry us all the way through the year. I would bet. I bet Tommy doesn't miss another show.
The place is looking great. It's ready to go. Middle of the week here in Long Beach. Gorgeous day. A little bit of rain. Looks like most of us survived 4th of July weekend. I still have all my limbs. I don't shoot fireworks anymore.
I don't either. I got to tell you, I can't believe some of the stuff that people do. Like
They're
I said,
supposedly illegal in New
They're
York.
allegedly are, but I don't. Like I had people sending me pictures of like they have like full tables set up in their backyard,
Yep.
and it had to be like $1,000 worth of fireworks they had on this table.
I think we
And
know
I'm
those people that you're talking
and
about.
I'm like, well, what is happening here? Like, how does this go on for us?
Yeah, something past the radar. But yeah, it's good to be back, man. We got man, every week there's just you know, I tell you what, the Yankees and the Mets alone, you know, even outside of this World Cup stuff. And I think a lot went on between, you know, last Thursday and today.
Well,
World Cup.
definitely a lot went on in terms of the World Cup. So let's start there, of course. And that was with the United States going down in what I would have to put up there in terms of the hype that was behind it, in terms of the expectation. One of the more gutless performances I can ever remember with what they did. And here's the one thing you do have to remember.
Even after getting their guy back.
Say this about it. People get excited, and with good reason. The World Cup happens once every 4 years. Whether whatever you think of soccer in this country is or isn't, facts are the facts. 43 million people watched this match on Monday night.
They sure did.
People are into it. And when you get to this point, they get into it. And when the team wins a couple games like they did in the group stage, people get into it. People want to believe. They sell you that X, Y, and Z is good, and this is that, and that, and that. So there was a lot of expectation and buildup, thinking that this time was different and that they're on home soil and that they can make a push and that it can actually happen. Unfortunately for everybody, it was same old, same old. The same things that always happen to them in every World Cup happened on Monday night. They finally played a team that was a lot better than them talent-wise. And that was another thing people thought going in. Well, Belgium hasn't looked good, and Belgium's got some older guys. Yeah, Belgium brought a guy off the bench in the second half who makes like $120 million a year from Man City. That Doku is like a ridiculous player, right? He's a Man City guy it's awesome.
And
Lukaku comes in, who's an all-time great scorer.
Yep.
And that's what's coming off their bench in the second half. And they didn't even need those guys to come in. They had the game in hand. They didn't even need that to happen.
Well, we had Freeze and net for us, just helping them out too. So
let's do this in order, because there's several levels to this to talk about the way that they went out. And
start with the phone call into FIFA. Let's
do
go.
Do that first. I want to bash the team first. I wanted to bash the team before, but I think that is something that played into Monday night as well.
Yeah,
and it played in negatively for the United States. As great as it was that they were getting what I felt was their best player in this World Cup back for that match, it clearly impacted them negatively because Belgium came out really pissed off that they were letting this guy play in the game. And however they went about doing it, and there are some stories that you can believe or not believe as to how this guy was put into the game or who wants to take credit for how this guy was put in the game. The bottom line is he was put in the game. And however it happened, I honestly felt a little – I didn't love it. I really didn't. As much as, I love
Well, let me ask you
Balogun.
on that note, for everybody that, we talked about this last week, I thought it was a deserved red card and say you didn't. So,
yeah, I did not.
So a lot of people who disagree with the call, right?
Right.
Now he gets admonished and he gets put back in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know that feeling,
right?
That you felt, and you and so many other people felt it wasn't a red card.
Correct.
When he's allowed back in the game, now you have these icky feelings about it.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because we have dealt with bad calls are bad calls. We have dealt with bad calls our entire lives in every sport.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's the NFL, if it's the NHL, Major League Baseball with umpires, whatever it is. There's always bad calls, and they don't go back and change them. They don't go. It was a bad call. He shouldn't have got a red card in that game. But to do something that never gets done, and I know people bring up this article 27, whatever, and Ronaldo they did this with Ronaldo before the World Cup. Ronaldo had a suspension coming before the World Cup started, and they moved that suspension because they didn't want Ronaldo missing the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something that happened in the middle of the World Cup and they pushed it aside because it's Ronaldo and let him play. It was a little bit of a different situation. If a guy gets a red card, justified or not, he misses the next game. Like, it's been the rule since forever. It's the dawn of time. And whether it's your team or not, and I was like, oh, this is great. Balogun's going to play because I thought they had a better chance to win with Balogun in there. Man, was I wrong. But I didn't like how decades and decades of rules suddenly went away. Whether there was something in fine print there or not that says it can be done, it felt a little dirty. And I also thought that it was going to be fuel to a Belgium fire, that a team that really didn't look that great until they came back against Senegal down 2-0 in the 85th minute. And who knows, maybe it was coming off of that win, had enough wind in their sails anyway, even without that. But this was extra wind that they got because they were clearly ticked off at how this all went down. And I think it surged them even more early in that match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if we can even go into the locker room as a player on the U.S. team too. I mean, it really took over the news cycle.
Yeah.
You know,
it wasn't about the team anymore.
And again, I think you bring up a great point. If it's done, it's done. Having it pulled and overturned really kind of, like I said, flipped the whole image of the whole thing. Because then, you know what? If they had to went out and beat Belgium without him, you know, then it would have been like, okay, great. And you move on to the next part. He comes back, and it's kind of like legit as far as, you know, how things played out with the call and it not be rescinded. Now, if they win the game, then it gets tarnished for them. Like it becomes a no-win situation for the U.S. team either way they go. And now it kind of even looks worse because he was allowed to play, didn't have an impact on the game, and they lose. And like I said, it fueled Belgium. And now you've seen this turn here in these last couple of games here. Whereas, like, you know, we were talking about how great this thing is with the World Cup and it's bringing people together. You can start to see how the narrative is changing. It's getting nasty. We can talk about, you know, the Egypt-Argentina game.
Well,
we can talk about, we definitely got to get into the England game. You know, as far as certain aspects of it, you know, you're just going to get this in international World Cup play. And this is before the whole thing started. You know, and like I said, you busted my chops and stuff about really not getting into it because unfortunately there is an ugly side of the World Cup play that happens. There's always something that happens, you know, that kind of tarnishes things. But anyway,
I think it also to kind of build off of that, and I don't think I don't feel that there's like some strong negative impact that's now started to take place. I think that what happens is
well, that was pretty nasty at the end of the Egypt game.
It was, and I think that the reasoning for that is that the closer you get to the end and things get tighter and tighter, things are under the microscope a little bit more as you get to that. You know, when you get to the last 8 and the last 4 and the last, like, every single little thing starts to get magnified a little bit more. And I think that's why you start to see some of the things where Egypt were a massive dog in that match. And they were up 2-0 in the 76th minute, 77th minute, and they couldn't get it home.
You talk about Balogun's red card. I mean, look at the VR calling back that penalty that, you know, nullified Egypt's third goal.
Sure.
I mean, that was pathetic.
Well, I hated it.
Team like Egypt against a team like Argentina, they needed that third goal, man.
Right. And what really hurts about that is
Mexico, did she make a call? The president of Mexico?
I don't know. I guess everybody should make a call now whenever they need anything.
See, that's the other thing too. That sucks too.
Well,
it starts that whole
thing. But you know what? Again, you have to believe.
Look, we're just fans, right?
You have to believe who you want to believe. And when you read the people that kind of cover the game, you know, they kind of pictured it as, yes, this happened, but it really didn't have a bearing on what the decision was made. Whether you want to believe that or not, I don't know. That the heads of state calling the heads of FIFA and all of that. People say that the independent committee, that stuff didn't matter.
Well, just on that note, right?
Okay.
And especially here in this country, you always hear about that line,
right?
You know, just don't have any don't have any political views, right?
Correct.
Shut up and shoot, shut up and dribble,
Well,
all that
well,
stuff, right? And now
yeah.
you have political elements
Yeah.
sticking their nose
Correct.
into sports competitions.
Which basically brings you to then like half the country hating the men's soccer team because they think they got an advantage off of because of that, which I don't think necessarily.
And let's
happens.
pull back because guys like me and you, and you watch a ton of soccer, more
Yeah.
on the international stuff. You know me, I watch the Premier League, and I'm familiar with a lot of the top players in the league as much as we were busting chops and joking around before the tournament started. But at the end of the day, we knew the United States was not going to advance once they started playing established European teams.
Well, look, I think that again, people got really gassed up about this game on Monday night. I was one of them. I got gassed up. They made me believe. But at the end of the day, and this is aside from all the nonsense off the field, what we're talking about there, on the field itself, the two biggest things that were said about the team before they played a game at the World Cup was they were poor defensively, that they were going to have problems on defense, that they were going to have problems in goaltending, and that their midfield could get a little controlled by better teams. They played teams in the group stage that, lucky for them, and that's how it works, were better. They were better then.
Well, you brought that up too, that Mexico, Canada, and the United States,
they were set up
all
right.
set up into groups,
right.
which gave them an opportunity.
As much as they want to tell you
round.
that it's random in their little ball drawing event that they do back in December, I don't believe that there's anything random about it. I think they make it so that they want the host countries to be as good. You think that they want United States, Mexico, Canada in a group with, England or Argentina or Brazil or any? No, they do not. They're all. That's why they put them all in Pot A to make sure that they're all away from those teams.
Right there, and if you take maybe Mexico out of the equation, just because Mexico's history or whatever, and more of a
sure they have more soccer history. You can say
history,
that absolutely
more soccer winnings, all that stuff. But that's also just lighting the whole flame there. That you countries just don't know how to play good football.
Well, look, they have,
and that's another thing we got to get into.
No matter what happened on Monday night, the Federation in the United States Soccer, it has come a long way from 30 years ago. I mean, it has, whether you like it or not, and it's for all the things we listed before the tournament started. They have more players now that play in major leagues in Europe. They have more of those things, but they still don't have the complete team that these major nations can bust out with. Like I was saying, the fact that Belgium, who's 9th in the world in the FIFA rankings, can sit Kevin De Bruyne and Doku and Lukaku and bring those guys on in the second half, that just shows like United States can't do stuff like that. They just can't.
Well, that was I'm sure you've seen it the last couple of days. The discussion now is about the development of soccer players. We talked about this in the past,
and this is whether, pay to play and how much
how expensive it is for kids to be go through club teams here. It's very expensive, and plus the way they do it in Europe and South America and everything else, it's just a different way. How the clubs invest in the players and stuff. So a lot of the cost doesn't really come off of the parents.
Yeah,
so these kids have more opportunity, and they're considered assets for the future. Whereas, like I said, in the United States, they know once they get to maybe even the college level, there really isn't much opportunity to move on. And again, I brought this up too. Like I said, I think it's awful, but I think it's an example of how, and this will be the other discussion now too. Are people going to watch the MLS now that the World Cup's over? No. Like I can't name
MLS, and that gets me to my other point.
I can't name any of the players in the MLS.
The guys that really hurt them in that game on Monday night, aside from the one big one that I'm going to get to, but they brought an MLS goalie to the World Cup. It just doesn't add up. It just God bless Matt Freese. He's an MLS goalie. That's what he is. And when you get to that stage where you're taking on firepower like Belgium, you need a better goalie. Tim Ream was a 37-year-old traffic cone out there on defense. He plays MLS now. He used to play. Yeah, he's 37. They didn't have a better guy, a better defender than 37-year-old Tim Ream to be back there.
This is the thing that I told. Like I said, it's not a good program. If we compare it to the USA hockey program now and how much success the United States has had,
correct.
Just forget about the Olympics.
Yeah,
the World Juniors now. The United States are just producing better talent. soccer team, and it's expensive for
And
those kids too, and those families as well.
Right.
But at least on the international level, we're having more success there
Correct.
than we did decades ago. And you would think, like I said, we talk about this too. In general, the amount of the population in the United States, and you would think because all you need is a pair of cleats and some shin pads to play soccer. But a lot of Langdon was talking about this on a podcast the other day too. He says it's just too expensive.
Well, that's part of the thing. Is that now,
and it's such a money grab. And
we travel soccer. I know that with
Little League sports,
we're in on the baseball and softball side of things, and I know good friends of ours. Travel soccer super expensive. It's
just
brought
brought
up a
by the way,
different
this is specifically club teams, little leagues. Those organizations they cover all the costs and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, this is like $150 or something, for little league teams. But you get into the clubs, it gets ridiculous. Some people talk about it's like $5,000 a year or something.
Yeah. Very busy in the chat today, Paul.
What's up, guys?
Lots of in the chat. We've got, of course, Eddie in Columbus. Eddie's all in for England now. Them or Morocco, anybody but Argentina. Chris, this is a good one from Chris. I legit won't watch soccer anymore. I'm sickened by the loss. Eddie also says the United States men's team is the Penn State of FIFA. I like that comparison, Eddie. That's pretty true if you look at it. Chris says he was one of the people that took the cheese for it. 6 of the 8 quarterfinalists are from Europe. Not right by FIFA. Europe has 44 countries to get in. Africa's better. It is what it is. They have the better teams. MLS is pure trash, Chris says. I agree with him on that. USA in 94 losing the round of 16. USA in 26 losing the round of 16. But we have made drastic improvements. I'll push back on that, Eddie. Yes, we have. I do believe they have made drastic improvements in 30 years. I just do, just because of the quality of the top line of player is better now. And was that, like you said, is that enough to get them through a round of 16? Obviously not when they play a team that has more quality than them, which they now have, unfortunately for them, run into, and you're going to when you get to the last 16 of a World Cup. They've now lost to Belgium this time, Netherlands last time, Belgium in 14. Ghana they lost to in 10. Germany in 06. They lose to the Germany in 02, whatever it was. They lose to teams that are higher and better on the scale than they are. So there's more to do. And here's their other problem, Eddie. As I said, they need to find, they need to develop, which as hard as this is, and Paulie brought up that point of the youth development and getting it further along. And I looked at the goalies myself on Tuesday morning after this happened, because I was like, how did they bring 3 MLS goalies? They don't have anyone else. Like, they have all these guys like Balogun who were born here and lived here for a month and went over. Like, they can't find someone else who's a goalie. They have this 20-year-old kid that's signed by Barcelona that can play for the United States. So I'm guessing 4 years from now, hopefully he's the goalie when he's 24, when the United States goes back to the World Cup, because they can't have these guys.
But isn't that a mind blow there too? Because in the size of our country, with the amount of youth and high school and college soccer players, that's what we got. Yeah,
it's true. I agree. And then I'm gonna say this is, you know what? I'm not gonna say it as nicely as I need to. I've had enough of Pulisic, okay? And Pulisic's a very good player. He's a very good player. But I think the things that everyone wants from him in the United States, I don't think he's built for. And that is being the guy, and that is being the face. Now, he does all the commercials. He's a little prickly in interviews. He's a little prickly on other things. I think he's the kind of guy, and I'm trying to find a comparison that might be a little easier for us in terms of, like, whether it's the NFL or the NHL. He's the kind of guy that he needs someone else to be the face of the team, and he can kind of go and just play. And, I feel like that's what he needs. I don't think he could be the guy where it's all on his shoulders and be expected to be the guy, the Captain America, to lead the team. And I'm sure over in Milan where he plays, and he has not been a bum for Milan. He's very good playing over there in Serie A. He's a good player, but there's obviously several other probably really, I don't know AC Milan's roster off the top of my head, but I'm sure he is not the guy on AC Milan, but he can play and not have all the weight of the world on his shoulders, which I feel like gets put on him in these massive tournaments for the United States. And you want to say, oh, he was hurt? Yeah, all right, fine. He was hurt. He was atrocious in the first half of that game on Monday night. Atrocious. He gave the ball away like 11, 12, 13 times. And then he comes, and they scored the third goal, and there he goes limping to the sideline. Basically, say it what you want. He tapped out. Okay. Was he hurt? Probably was hurt. He sprained his ankle. He tapped out. They were down 3-1. He said, I'm going home. And then he said in the interview afterwards, which you've probably seen the clip 6,000 times. Well, I got time to rest now. It's something that, Paulie, I think that when we look and we're coming off the hockey winning a gold medal at the Olympics, and we look at the women's soccer team has been so damn good in every competition. And they've had these big personalities that are kind of leaders and can, I just don't think he's that. And they need to get someone above him to take a little pressure off of him and let him just play and not be the face of the team.
Well, that's a big problem because, like I said, what we're talking about here, how do we? I don't think it's not a path here in the United States to develop someone to aspire to want to be the captain of the U.S. soccer team and win a World Cup, because it's too high of a mountain to really climb and get over. I mean, it just is. And we've been watching this for decade after decade after decade. And, all joking aside with me saying before the World Cup, they never have a chance. They're just not good enough. It's just soccer is just not developable. And like I said, we talk about MLS as crap. And these guys at Pulisic, and they have to go to Europe. They have to go play somewhere else to, number one, play in fantastic leagues, make money. I don't even know what the average salary is for an MLS player. I'm sure it's not that good, but we could look it up.
I think it's a third-rate league, and that's the biggest problem.
So
it's a third-rate league.
There's no clear path. There's nothing inspiring. I mean, and what's crazy is, like I said, in the late 70s or mid 70s, whenever it was, when the Cosmos were playing and the Rowdies were playing, those were European players that were having an impact on the USA soccer fan. That again is helpful. Like, soccer is massive here in the United States, especially on a kid sports level and everything else,
right?
And through college and everything else. But there's this wide, huge gap as far as becoming a financial commitment to make for. And we've talked about this too, because like I said, you want to play baseball, basketball, or football, or even hockey now, because the salaries are getting better too. There's a better path and an option. And even the development leagues, you got college football now, you can make a ton of money in, right?
Yeah.
And in the NHL, you can play in the ECHL, you can play in the AHL. There's all these different financial leagues are set up where you can make money if you put the time and the commitment into.
The average guaranteed compensation for an MLS player this year is $688,000. Now, but that figure is kind of skewed because you have guys like Messi who make $28 million. That kind of makes that number a little fugazi. Like, it's probably a lot lower than that if you took Messi out. Like, to give you an example, Messi makes his base is $25 million. Son, who plays for LAFC and was on South Korea, $10 million. Rodrigo for Miami, 7.5. The top 10 guys are all $5 million or more.
But
with
even the
Messi
gap
making
between
25.
1 and 2 there is unbelievable.
So the thing is, the gap, because Messi plays there 25 to 10, is enormous. And now you're having, like, I believe I saw Lewandowski's going to come and play for Chicago because he's at the end of the line over in Europe. And,
I told you, it's a beer league.
But this is but it's a beer league, Paulie, but it's a beer league where these stars for a long time in Europe can come here, and even in their older end of the line stage of their career can dominate, because it is such a beer league that they can come over here and dominate and get all the flowers like
Beckham
Messi has done here.
Tom did that.
Beckham did it. Robbie Keane did it.
Rooney did it.
Rooney did it, and he wasn't that great. Remember Pirlo came for Italy and played for NYCFC, and Frank Lampard came and played. Yep. They all have these designated guys that they can bring over. And there's even talk. I mean, they've been, saying to Mbappe. Even Mbappe's got a long time before he's come to the MLS, but even he's like, I could see myself at the end of my career coming over here and playing, because he likes he likes being over here.
Well, there's the thing too. I mean, look at the decision that Ronaldo made there a couple of years ago, right? He went to Saudi Arabia and played in the Saudi Arabia.
And
I think he's won a couple of titles over there, but give me a break. I mean, you think the MLS league is weak?
Chris,
The Saudi Arabian league ain't no good either.
Chris, he was in MLS, but he really didn't have a long stay. Wayne Rooney. I think he played for DC United,
And then he
it
coached a
kind of
little
was
bit.
a.
He managed them for a little bit.
Yeah, it was a big miss. He did. He the biggest success, obviously. Well, early years was Beckham. Obviously, was a massive success for LA, and now Messi's a massive success for Miami. It's what he done for the league. So
Did Beckham and Keane play at the same time in Galaxy? And they won,
kind of
right?
the end of Beckham was like the beginning of Robbie Keane, like right in that, and they did win, I believe, a title together in LA.
And that was before. What's the other LA team? There's two LA.
Now they have LAFC along with LA Galaxy. So they were LA Galaxy. They were the original LA MLS team, and now they have two.
I tell you, man, I know there's guys out there who cover MLS. I know there's podcasts and all this stuff. Fair play to them because I don't know how they sit through and watch all this stuff.
And
I can't. Just last thing on this. Like I have tried. I've honestly tried to watch MLS games. I have tried. And especially when the Sounders are doing really well. And I thought that was a great story there. And you know, like I said, how they were selling out 80,000 people and all that other stuff. But man, the quality of the game is just so bad. And then again, you tie that in with the fact that there's just not a lot of stars. And the only stars that are in the game are stars from other international competition, international leagues.
Like and look, there, like you said, there are a lot of people who love that league. And you know what? The league, I feel, has been run a lot smarter in the last 15 years. Remember when they used to play in enormous football stadiums and do it? They now have figured it out.
Yeah.
Even some smaller than that. I mean, even that what they're building for NYCFC next to City Field.
And you could compare that to some
Red
of
Bull Arena,
the lower England leagues who have the small stadiums
and that's
smaller
okay.
towns,
and there's nothing wrong with
divisions.
That. But that's the right path. And look, it's not like they're doing it. They're adding like 2 teams every 3 years. Like they keep adding teams. So there is some interest there, and I just, the league isn't on the level of the top 10 leagues in the world. I might be on the top 15 or 20. So now having guys like Messi probably pushes it into that top 15-ish area.
But Messi is all about, it's all about money.
Sure.
Messi doesn't come over here
unless he puts on a show.
He gets his contract. He gets a stake in Apple. He gets a stake in all the merch.
Well, I understand that, and that's fine.
And I'm not knocking him at all.
And that's part of the deal.
Him and his
but at least because of all that, Messi still shows up when he plays for Inter Miami, and he puts on a show. Where this isn't like Babe Ruth when he was 43, walking up with a cigar in his mouth and pretend. This is a little different.
You bring up a good point.
He's still playing at a super high level.
Yeah, puts on a show, but he's not putting on a show against equal level talent. The same way Argentina, even though they came back with a great comeback, we kind of knew that was going to happen. Egypt just didn't have the talent to match what Argentina did at the end of that game. You know, I mean, again, it's like,
right. Look at this goal. I mean, this Messi's just he's something else, even at his age. All right. I want to get into those 4 matchups that we're going to have.
Well, can we talk? What's your thoughts on England, Mexico? Great match.
Yes.
Great job by England. Colombia gets knocked out.
And
Swiss are in.
And the last thing I'll say is just to close the book on this for the United States. Yes, we all got fooled, but we learned. Just remember this 4 years from now. We're not on the level of these other teams, especially defensively, goaltender-wise, all of that. All of those things still need to improve and get better before they can be on the same level, even close to a same level.
Well, it starts with the development stage. We can't compare developmentally with other countries.
And that's
another leagues.
And that's why, as much as excitement as people were, when they can you imagine if they play? I mean, they got chewed up by Belgium. Can you imagine if they somehow got to play Spain on Friday? I mean, Spain would have cut them to ribbons. It might have been 5-0. And what really sucks about it, Paulie, is you look at every knockout stage game, the round of 32, round of 16. It was the most heartless and gutless performance out of any team in all of them. Everyone fought to the end.
Yeah.
Everyone was in it to the end. Everyone didn't give up. The games were close. They got down and they laid out.
White flag.
And it was really tough. That is the aspect of it that's toughest to handle. Is that
they only had like 2 shots on goal. Like
couldn't get a shot. Like they couldn't even get the ball to your man Balogun up front. They couldn't even get him the ball. So either way, that's done.
Two shots in the first, whatever it was.
Mexico, England on Sunday night. It was incredible. And it's so rare that when you put so much hype on a match and you're like, this is going to be a next level sporting event. And this is for anything that we watch. Sometimes things get so much hype put on it that you can be a little let down. It's like, was that really as good as everybody thought it was going to be? Mexico, England Sunday night was as good as everyone thought it was. In fact, Paul, I think it was even better because I think I went into it thinking it was going to be this kind of street fight, 1-0, 0-0 type of game late into it. And it was anything but that. It was fireworks all over the place.
If they released the Mexico-England game in the movies next week, I would go watch it.
Go watch it again.
Pay money to go watch that game again.
It was
awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Fair play to England, man.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I think that kind of win is gonna push them towards the end here. I really do.
It's a good game, man. I think we got another good one on tap, man.
Because Norway's now the story with them beating Brazil.
Yes,
was incredible.
It's fantastic.
And I love this. And this Holland is incredible. I love this guy.
I hate him on Manchester United.
I know that.
I'm a Man U fan, but I respect him.
Everything about him.
He's having fun, man.
He's cool as a cucumber. I love the we talked about this last week. The stuff with the row with the fans when they get out there banging the drum.
Oh, that's
and
right.
all
I'm
rowing.
supposed to get down here on the ground and do this
because they beat Brazil. He was supposed to get down. With that, it's been a super fun. You mentioned the Argentina game yesterday was bonkers. What went on in the last 10, 15 minutes of that match? Really, the whole second half was just level.
I will say this. You can't, and because I when they were up 2-0, right, and even though the third goal got disallowed or whatever, you figured at that point all Egypt has to do is go into a lockdown defensive,
which they
really, really did. But but they were tired, and fair play to Argentina because it's not like they got the goals that they scored were beautiful goals. They were, they had to work hard to get those goals and to tie that game, and then to win it. So, and then even Messi, missing a penalty kick.
Which is amazing. He can't make penalties. The second one he's missed in this World Cup. He's only made half his penalties ever in the World Cup in 6 World Cups that he's been in. Yeah. Which the guy's like probably, and I know there's people will have it, the greatest player of all time. And he misses, he gets skipping penalties.
And if you haven't yet, you get a chance, check out the coverage of his post-game interview.
Yeah.
Talk about his emotions and everything.
Yeah.
And he gave a lot of perspective to a lot of these guys, like Messi level guys.
Yeah.
This is their whole life. This is everything they do. They're carrying, their country on their back and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, maybe Egypt get dogged there a little bit on that call.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you allowed Argentina to tie and win that game.
Yes.
And fair play to Argentina too that they didn't go to penalty kicks. They finished the job.
It was very, very difficult for them to hold. I mean, they were trying to hang on for dear life in the from after the hydration break. They had the hydration break.
And
the
substitutions there at the end too were key for Argentina.
Yes, that once again goes back to the same thing. Like they're a team that can bring on so many waves of guys coming in after that. And they're coming in fresh, and you don't have the subs to bring in and be able to match that kind of firepower. Oh, it was such a great game. They've all been awesome. It's been a really fun
The
World
one game
Cup.
I didn't get to look at there was Colombia and the Swiss. I know.
Yeah, that was the first 0-0 of the knockout round, I believe. And that was a game, Paulie, where it was one of those, what I think someone would call a typical soccer match. We've had a lot of excitement and a lot of fireworks in this World Cup. That was more of your 0-0.
Playing not to lose.
Penalty
kicks,
all of that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what it got into,
Look at the Swiss, the mighty Swiss.
Mighty Swiss. Now, unfortunately for Swiss, they were missing him last night, and they're going to probably be missing him against Argentina Saturday night. One of their best players is out now, and he really did a great job in their first 3 or 4 games, and he's not going to be there against Argentina, which but you know what, man? Argentina now, and they played on the edge against Cape Verde, played on the edge with Egypt. I mean, either of those teams could have took them out. Swiss is, I feel, better than those two teams. And who knows with the way that they've played. Anything can happen, I would have to think, at this point, as you get into these last 4 matchups, which we'll have France against Morocco tomorrow.
France-Morocco, great game.
And, Morocco getting very,
Not a walkover.
Not a walkover at all. And they want some revenge. They lost to France in the semis last World Cup, and they get another crack at them here.
England-Norway.
England-Norway Saturday is incredible. Spain-Belgium.
Spain-Belgium.
They're taking them away now. There he goes.
Spain, nice job against Portugal.
Yeah, late goal for them. And
that's it for Ronaldo. Toodaloops.
Gotta go.
And then what else we got left then? We got
those are the 4 matches. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
this is the sad part of this. We had so much fun for the last few weeks. Today is the first day since the World Cup started that there's no match today.
Yeah.
And there's only 7 matches left. 8 if you count the third place game, but who the hell watches the third place game? So only 7 matches left of significance in the World Cup. It's been a great ride. I've had a lot of fun with it. And it does kind of make it that every 4 years, and it takes so long to get back to this point, and it's so much fun. But 2 years you get the Euros and the Copa America and all that other stuff. I feel like that when you have a fun World Cup like this, those events get a little bit more gas because people are excited for a big multi-level nation event like that. So I think that it'll be helpful for that. And usually the Premier League and the England and the European leagues get a little bump after a good World Cup too.
Oh,
People
yeah,
go and watch all that
absolutely.
stuff.
Because you get introduced to guys on other countries that you weren't sure, like where's he played, so on and so forth, and then you kind of jump around and kind of see where they're going to be. What do you laughing
John
at?
says, pour out a Miller Lite for the guy in the ambulance. Yes, the ambulance would fly.
So you gotta
by.
love that. There's the boss.
Yeah,
you guys,
so
you don't even get to watch us, but you get to see what's going on. Life in Long Beach back here on Beach Street.
Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, live here from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach, on the island, on a Doors Open Wednesday. We have a lot more to do. We're going to come back. But first, Paulie, why don't you let everybody know what's going to be happening at Borrelli's?
All right, it is Wednesday, and we are broadcasting live every Wednesday and Thursday afternoon here from Borrelli's Taproom, located at 912 West Beach Street, here in Long Beach, in New York, baby, on the island, home of the champion New York Knicks. That's right, still champions. Anyway, it's Wednesday, and that's usually music theme night down here at Borrelli's. And sure enough, tonight is Oasis night. So come on down for some live music with the best of Oasis, starting at 7 o'clock. There's a $21 dinner special. You get half-price bottles of wine, and there's always bucket specials, beer specials, drink specials, and a great menu brought to you by Borrelli's. Tomorrow is Thursday, and you know that. It's carnivore night here at Borrelli's on Thursdays. And for $42.99, come on down. You get a steak, pork, or veal. Oh, my God. That's the first time I forgot. And then you get a choice of a super salad, and you get a dessert, and you get bottomless beers and endless wines, all for $42.99. And you have live entertainment every week now on Thursdays with Current Company starting at 8 o'clock. So come on down for that. Eat, drink, and enjoy the tunes on Thursday nights. Friday, live music comes every weekend here, and something special going on this week. We have one performer that's doing all the live entertainment this weekend, and that's Rachel Schumacher. Now, on Friday, she's going to be here at 7 o'clock, and then followed by DJ Frankie Sims. And then Rachel will be back here on Saturday at 7 o'clock, followed by DJ TM Select. And then Sunday Fun Day, she will be here as well at 4 o'clock, followed by DJ TM Select. And that's the Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday dance parties here with all the DJs after Rachel Schumacher all this weekend. And a brand new thing here on Fridays now, it's Frozen Fridays. They got the ice machine up here for margaritas and pina coladas, $8 now from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Come down here on Fridays, and you get a choice of frozen margarita or pina colada. $8. It's pretty damn good. Frozen Fridays now at Borrelli's. And again, you can walk in here. Anytime you walk in here, you can start off your session with a free Miller Lite draft. Just mention the Carver and Cuthbert podcast. Awesome stuff. So get a free beer and then have a nice frozen drink for $8 on Frozen Fridays. All right, comedy. This is what's going on. Joe List is coming here on July 14th. Jim Norton's going to be here on July 21st. Des Bishop will be here on July 29th. And Chris DiStefano will be here on August 5th. All right. Tickets for all the comedians here and all the comedy shows at BorrelliStaffing.com. Click on events or go to eventbrite.com and search Borrelli's Comedy. Man, one last thing. Next Wednesday, me and Mike are actually going to be off. It's going to be our little summer vacation. So no shows next week. But Bingo Wednesday is going to be here next week. It's brought to you by Red Bull on the 15th. So come on down. Tommy's going to be hosting that. Bartender Tommy. That's Bingo next Wednesday. And again, we're not gonna be here next week. We're gonna take a vacation, and then we'll be back after that. So that's what's going on at Borrelli's right here in Long Beach on the island. Every Wednesday and Thursday, me and Mike are here, except for next week. I just told you that. But great stuff going on. Check out the menu at Borrelli'sTaproom.com and all bucket specials during the week, on the weeknights, on the weekends. Always great time down here at Borrelli's. It's always happening, man. And you get a beautiful day like this.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's just gorgeous stuff. So if you're thirsty, there's no better place to go.
Well, we'll get you one. I don't know if are the Peronis back in, Tommy? I don't know. I'm not sure if Peronis are coming tomorrow.
It's all right. We'll do beer Thursday tomorrow with you.
All right. Well, I'm getting my Miller Lite in today.
Right. Cheers, man.
Right. Get it in you. All right, Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. On the island for us here. All right, a few things. A lot of fun with the World Cup. I'm going to miss talking about it when it's over. I really am.
So we're not going to be here next week. Where's the final wrap up?
That's right. We're not going to be here next week. Forgot about that.
I just told everybody we're going to be on vacation.
Oh,
so
man.
When is the final?
Next Sunday at MetLife. That is the 19th.
So when we come back, we can review it.
Come back, we'll know who won. So England versus Spain in the final on July 19th at MetLife. That's my prediction. England versus Spain. In the final. And it's coming home.
I haven't looked at how the matchups. Can France play Argentina again?
In the final, yeah.
That's my prediction.
That's your final?
France and Argentina.
Rematch of the last one? I could see that. I could absolutely see France-Argentina again. That would be, I'm sure they're hoping for that.
And this year,
was
France
fireworks last time with Mbappe and Messi. It was fireworks.
Yes.
So if that happens, I think Spain going to beat France.
It's going to be so
I really do. I think Spain going to beat France. And I'd be careful with Morocco tomorrow. I'd be very careful with Morocco. They got a real good squad. They're very good defensively, and I know there's a lot of firepower on that French team, but I could see it. I could see it happening, Paulie. You never know. Let's get into some other things. We left here last week, and I said to you, you don't have to worry about the Yankees because they're going to play the Twins this weekend.
Yes,
everything's all fine and good. Everything's going to be good. You know, nothing turns the frown upside down or ends losing streaks like taking on the Minnesota Twins. But, Paulie, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins. I think I saw that was the first time the Twins had won a series at Yankee Stadium.
And I think I told
since
you.
like 2012 or something like that. And now they've gone to Tampa and they've split the first 2, and they won Monday night because they only had 3 hits in the game Monday night. Schlittler was incredible. And they had the 2 homers from Caballero and the 1 from Rice, which accounted for the 5 runs. Last night, a 6-4 loss.
A lot of whiffs.
And a lot of whiffs. How many times they strike out last night? 7?
A lot. I think in 2 games over 30.
Yeah, they strike out a lot. Yes, it is gutless when you lose to the Twins. Completely gutless.
But this is a different kind of Yankees team this year, you know? They're making their own historic records, and first time that the team has done this in terms of their lack of hitting and their strikeouts and all that other stuff. But
whether you like it or not,
I mean, the Twins put up
this
11 of them in the stadium in our house.
You know, we talked about same old with the United States soccer team in every World Cup. What's happening right now is same old. This is every year with the Yankees on their bone, is that this is what happens. So do you know that they're 31-32 since April 29th or something like that?
Yes.
So they had that really hot April start, came out guns blazing, and what have they done? 31-32 since. 1 game under. Once again, awful in July going into the All-Star break. I get it. No Judge, no Stanton, no this,
No,
no
they got to
that.
win these next 2 games. They're back in it.
Oh, so you're a believer now.
No, I'm just saying, we go back and forth about where they are, how they're
Yeah.
playing. But if they win tonight and tomorrow, they're tied for first.
Wow. So just all good. Good
Well,
to go.
Booney always tells us it's right in front of us.
He is the worst. I gotta tell you, he is the absolute worst.
I don't know.
So they are 4 games back going tonight. So if they can get it to 2, if they win the next 2.
All right, so I put this tweet out the other day, and
Did
I
you?
want to get your opinion on this and see what you think.
Oh, I can't
All
wait.
right. Just to kind of.
Did you like my Giancarlo Stanton and Carbonite
Yes.
picture that I sent
That was
a
fantastic.
couple days ago?
Yes.
That's a good one.
Because somebody else.
Giancarlo Stanton and Carbonite.
Had him wrapped in something.
You got a lot of tweets, buddy.
No, every now and again I just see some things or whatever.
A lot of Yankee tweets.
Well,
find the right
Yankee
one.
fan. I'm a Yankee fan, Let me see here where it is.
Funny.
Oh, here
there it is. Booney.
Okay, so Booney gets up, does his, he says, forget obviously having some guys down right now, but we have guys capable of going out and doing really good things.
It's the same spiel from him every single time.
So
he gives you the same.
This is me.
Yeah.
And I guess, picture me on a couch, laying down with a therapist.
Yeah.
We are being fed insanity. And we are buying the tickets and paying for the streaming service. It's not Boone or Cashman or anyone in the lineup's fault. It's our fault. We are certified insane as fans.
I agree. Honestly. I think that's very true. And look, I just think it's kind of tiring that it's following the same pattern as every other year. And the problem with that is, Paulie, is that means that October is going to follow the same pattern as well. Okay? It's step for step happening again. And then I've got this for you today. Before we even get in, are they going to beat Tampa? Have you seen the wildfire this morning with this Volpe stuff? Have you seen all this
I heard
going
on the way in there was some kind of rumor going around. So fill me in.
All right. So
Some kind of Volpe gossip.
yesterday on his show, Michael Kay, who, as you know, play-by-play voice of the Yankees on the S Network,
Yes.
I mean, as tapped in as anybody is going to be with the New York Yankees. On yesterday's show, Kay said that he heard from multiple people that the Yankees asked Anthony Volpe to play some second base in the minors. And Volpe said, quote, "No, I'm a shortstop," end quote. So it's basically like, we want to, trying to get you, we want you to do other things, get you on the field more, blah, blah, blah. And as you notice, he hasn't played the last few days in Tampa.
No.
Caballero's been playing shortstop and et cetera. So that news came out, okay, and somebody in Yankee land decided to go and put the flag up and say, "Oh, no, Michael, do not do that. That's not allowed." Kay retracts it this morning.
Really?
And says on Twitter, "I spoke of a rumor yesterday on my show that Anthony Volpe would not play second base in the minors. Sounded unlike him, so I checked further today, and there is absolutely no truth to it whatsoever. He never refused to work at second."
Ooh,
So
somebody got a phone call.
This is called, and the Yankees PR guy is a guy named Jason Zillow. He's the guy who's the PR guy for the Yankees. And there's like several hundred other people, minions that run it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's called, they brought Michael into the office last night after the game and said, "Mike, you're going to walk this back tomorrow," because I am 98% sure that this is true, that Kay heard that. Because why would he say it, Paul?
Exactly,
Why would he say it? It's just like the thing we're going to bring up with the Mets that Francesa said yesterday that I'm going to give to you. If you heard it, it's true.
I mean, a lot of people will give and take on, Michael Kay's, what he does after the broadcast and
Now,
all the stuff and things he says and everything.
I'm sure
like
there's
that.
a lot of things that Michael hears that
But he
obviously
does-
he
he-
doesn't bring to the air.
But he primarily walks the company line because he has to. So for him to release that first information, I don't think he would have done it without confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no question.
And I agree 100%. Like I said, somebody gave him a
Some-
phone call and
some-
said, "You're going to change that."
You're gonna change the story
Because
And-
Volpe is protected. He's just,
And for him to say, "Oh, I went and talked to people after and found out it's not true," that means people talked to him and
Yes.
said, "You're going to tell people it's not true,"
Mhm.
because they protect this kid like no one else.
Well, they have to because they've put him
Right.
in this,
Right.
the second coming of Jeter here.
I agree,
you know?
John. John says in the chat, "Get him out of here. Chopped." I would get him out of here. Chop him. Get him just enough.
So, all right, on that,
Yeah.
because this is a Yankees front office ego thing here,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
If they trade
Very much
Volpe,
so.
do they have the stones to throw up the white flag on this? Obviously, we all know it's probably the right thing to do, and if you can get anything back from Volpe, God bless you. But I think even with Booney here and Volpe, for argument's sake, they probably just run this season out, and if they're going to do anything with Volpe or Booney, it's after this season. That's my feeling.
I don't think that I think that they are super protective of how they have put this guy up, as you just said, and I don't think that there's any scenario where he's not going to be on the team. I just don't. I don't see it. I think that he'll probably. Now, I think it's telling that he hasn't played the last couple days. I think that that's a little telling. That there's obviously.
You would hope that that's a managerial decision because he's not performing.
Remember, Boone doesn't make the lineup. He's just
man.
just the figurehead. Now I know.
This freaking
Cashman has
team.
made it very known that Aaron makes the lineup. He has at least wanted to let you know that. I just think from the perspective of Volpe, if this is true, which I believe it is, because like we said, why would Kay say that if he didn't know that it was
Unless
true?
maybe they might move Jazz.
Think about
and
it.
Maybe there is some truth to the fact that they might want to put Volpe over at second.
Well, but let's talk about it from his perspective right now.
Okay.
For everything that's happened with him over the last year and a half, pretty pompous of him to be like, no, I don't want to play second base. Like,
But
that's pretty.
I'm so glad you brought this up because here's the deal. There used to be like a thing, like if it was me, right? As far as like how I
this
feel,
is not like what the Red Sox did to Devers last year and told him to get off a third. Like, this is very different.
If I'm a young kid and I am on the New York Yankees, and the New York Yankees asked me to shift the position to stay on the team, to play on the team,
Play more.
I would say, yes, I'm going. Now, if I'm a seasoned veteran of like 10, 11 years, and I put up all these stats, and I've got these championships and stuff.
Devers last year with the Red
different.
Sox. Devers was the third baseman for years and years and years. They went and signed Alex Bregman, and basically without telling him, and said, you're going to DH now, or go play first or whatever. And then he says they didn't tell him to play first. And that became a huge thing in Boston to the point where they had to ship Devers out.
To stand on with that.
And he had been there forever, and he had something to stand on for it. Volpe does not. Volpe doesn't. And like you say, his thought process should be, what am I doing to get myself back on the field and be a contributor and be a helpful
you want me to be the bullpen catcher? I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I wonder, because there's talk about this too, what do you do with Jazz? Do we trade him?
Well, I don't believe they're going to re-sign him in the offseason. I think that he's going to be gone. So I guess the question would be,
I am just astonished.
do you want to try to get something for him? But what would you get at this point? Where the way that their team is kind of built and situated, and you're not going to get kind of equal value back for him, I think unfortunately, Paulie, their hands are kind of tied in that he's going to be part of the team for the rest of the season. I really do believe that. And if he leaves not if he leaves, I don't believe that they're going to re-sign him. When he's gone at the end of the season, you just lose him for nothing, which they've lost guys in the past for nothing. It is what it is. And the Yankees, it's not as big a deal for the Yankees to lose somebody for nothing as it is the Pirates to lose somebody for nothing. The Yankees can absorb that a little bit.
Okay, so here's something I'm going to throw at you and the crew in the chat or fans who listen to this down the road. The Yankees over the years now, during Boone's tenure, like I said, there's obviously winning success during the regular season. The wins are there. It is what it is. Obviously getting to the playoffs and some championship series, losing obviously World Series and so on and so forth. But you take guys like Jazz, or you take some of these other guys who put the Yankee uniform on in the last few years, into Williams. There seems to be like that whole. There used to be a mystique or a great honor become a New York Yankee, and it just seems that maybe that whole luster is falling apart. And when we're talking about Volpe here and Jazz, I mean, look at a guy like Austin Wells, who's just absolutely useless. I mean, besides obviously catching games from pitchers and so on and so forth, but there just doesn't seem to be that pride and that statue to be a Yankee outside of, say, Giancarlo and Judge, who obviously making the biggest money biggest stars on the team who are now no longer in the lineup. But if that's maybe also a part of this whole Boone legacy here, that and how obviously where it just doesn't seem to be like, I look at Jazz and I'm going, you're a New York Yankee. How are you not? How are these guys striking out so much?
Right.
It just doesn't seem to be that. Get in there and win games and look, Bellinger. I mean, there's just some serious shortcomings going on here. And I think in the past, it would always be the fact that, hey, you're a New York Yankee. There's a pride in that. Obviously, we've seen that late 90s and early 2000s and everything. And even when we won 2009, going out with those guys, there was and you hear Jeter and you hear Posada in interviews talk about how the team used to be managed, and how they were supposed to act and what it was to be a Yankee. And now it seems like this culture club kind of thing is going on, the beards, all that other stuff, which is really not the biggest thing in the world. But man, the Yankees have accepted mediocrity. And I think that
this has been the case for years now.
I know.
And to be fair, they've honestly accepted mediocrity since George died. And I know no one likes hearing it. It's so tired and boring to do the whole back when George's day. Everyone hates that stuff. But facts are facts. They've accepted mediocrity since George passed away. They just have. But you want to know why, Paulie? Because all the kids, they got pools in their backyard, and they're just filled with money. So they can just jump in and they swim in it. And like the guy Hal goes on his boat out off the Italian Riviera. He goes and sits out there, and he swims in just a big pool of money. And that's why they accept mediocrity now, because even though teams
on top of that, the fans, like my tweet before, we're accepting the mediocrity.
George cared about winning, like the guy or not. He'd put a buck on the side for them to win. And I know you say, well, he was a billionaire. Okay, fine. He still would. He cared about winning first. This Boone would have been gone so long ago.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, and so would have Cashman, honestly, to be quite honest with you.
And it's amazing how many guys.
Hal has the autopilot on.
Yeah.
And he's just letting it go.
But it's amazing, though, there are still a lot of pundits out there who will continue. And I was one of those guys for a long time, too. Just defending Boone and everything else. And, like, who's going to replace him and all that other stuff. And, again, I don't think there's going to be any changes for the rest of this year. It is what it is. And if they do get healthy and the guys get back, and because of the way the league is and the wild card, they will make the playoffs and anything can happen. Let's see what happens at the trade deadline and everything else. And it is a long season. We just got to hang in there. But, again, like I said, there's a luster that's coming off this whole Yankee vibe, and I don't like it as a fan. But I'm hooked in. I'm still pulling for them. And like I said, they win these next two games. They're back in first place, heading into the All-Star break. I think we have a series coming up with the Nationals, right?
They go into the All-Star break in Washington this weekend. And then they will talk more. Tomorrow we got a lot of who you gots tomorrow since we're not here next week. How about a home run derby who you got tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yankees, Dodgers the following weekend in the Bronx out of the All-Star break. So that is going to be a very interesting series coming out. When you
pull back all the Boone stuff and everything else and that Steinbrenner and Cashman stuff, let's look at the guys in the lineup there. They're not performing.
No.
The strikeouts, the lack of run production, the errors too. There's some bad baseball being played here on the Yankees. So that's just in itself is just really frustrating.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I know. But then again, I tweeted that out too. Whenever I get down on the Yankees, the Mets always remind me how much worse it could be.
They do remind you of that all the time. So let's get into them because we're running out of time. I want to get to this too because this also comes from the reports and things. So last week on Thursday, we talked about Cohen and what he said to Heyman and Sherman on their podcast and all those kind of state of the team and all that stuff. And there was that nugget in there about how the Lindor-Soto relationship is better now. And that, all that. So yesterday, Mike Francesa on his Bet Rivers show, which Mike
You're
does.
affiliated with?
I am affiliated with Bet Rivers. Yes, I am. And Mike does his show on there. And Mike said that he heard, and this is very similar to what I just said about Michael Kay. If Mike says that he heard something, Mike heard it.
Yeah.
Mike does not. Mike was a king in this town of sports talk for 30 years, and if he hears something, he heard it. Whether it's true or He did hear it. He's passing on information. He heard, Paulie, that is not the case. That whole thing that Cohen said about that is not true. And that he said actually one of the things that started the frostbite between the two of them was when Soto signed with the Mets. Everyone on the team, I guess, either called or texted him to say, welcome to the team, whatever, and Lindor did not. Lindor was the only guy who's supposed to be, remember, this is coming off when the Mets lost to the Dodgers in the NLCS. Lindor had a huge postseason. He was perceived as the captain of the team and all of those things.
He came back from injury that year and carried the team to the end of the season.
Sure, but he's the only guy that allegedly didn't reach out to Soto and say, welcome to the team, whether by text or by call or whatever. And that allegedly started the frosty relationship between the two of them, which Mike says he has heard is still there, and that he thinks that the Mets are going to try I believe the quote was very, very hard over the next couple of weeks to trade Lindor off the team. Now, there is a problem with that, as Mike mentioned, and a lot of people have mentioned. Francisco Lindor has a complete full no trade clause. So in order for him to leave, he would have to agree to leave. Will he do that? I don't know. He's super tight with the owner. I don't know if the owner feels that would want to do that. I don't know.
Well, Cohen, he's not going to say anything negative. He's got to talk like it's positive. No issues and everything else.
Yeah.
This kind of in a weird kind of way. I don't know if you remember when Gretzky came to the Rangers. It was Mess's team.
Right.
And not long after that, Mess goes to Vancouver after that.
Yeah.
I know it was financial and money and everything else, but man, it was.
Yeah. And you have two guys who, and I think that Lindor really off of that all postseason thought he was the guy. He was the man.
He is the guy. I don't care what
And
anybody
then they
says.
paid somebody double his salary to come in and be a mercenary. So that, I guess, rubbed Lindor the wrong way in some points.
I gotta be honest with you.
You said the funniest thing. They never play together anyway. They're never there at the same time.
Look, I guess for Mets fans and the franchise, it's unfortunate. I'm on Lindor's side here, and I'm going to tell you right now, this has nothing to do. I don't care about the politics and all that other stuff. As a baseball player and as a guy who came to the Mets, Lindor, who came to the Mets, right, and was a big part of, turning this franchise around. You know what I'm saying? And he has the capability to be the goods, and he's shown it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, Soto has a great year, 1 year with the Yanks. He's obviously been a great individual baseball player. But the disparity, like we were just talking about Messi's disparity in terms of the money and the MLS and everything else. And real quick on that too is, if you're a talented soccer player here, why do you want to go to MLS when you could try and go play, for more money in the European leagues, right? Blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, I think this is something that Cohen is going to have to deal with. And obviously, I'll ask you and anybody else, I don't know the financials of it, but could they turn this around? Could they or would they trade Soto?
Look, certainly people would. That's a lot of money.
Well, this is the thing.
A lot of money.
Cohen put the anchor on.
I don't think that's. I don't think he would be going anywhere. I don't believe he would be going over.
Can the Yankees
when can he
get Lindor?
My question is,
How about the Yankees?
I don't want Lindor.
Come on.
When can he opt out?
I don't know.
When can Soto opt out? He can opt out after the 2029. So he actually has to stay at least 3 more years, Soto. I thought he had an earlier opt out than that. He can opt out after the 2029 season. Yeah, well, first of all, I'll say it to you this way. Let's pretend, and we'll live in fantasy world for a second.
Okay.
Let's pretend that was an option, which I don't believe that it is.
Okay.
Who are you giving them?
Whatever they want.
What's whatever they want?
No.
Cam Schlittler?
No.
Okay, well, what's whatever they want?
Yeah, no. No, that's a stupid answer by me.
It's not. It's not. But that a player like that comes at a price.
You bring a great point. That's a great question, because to be honest with you, the Yankees right now is presently set up. They really don't have anything to give anybody.
Let me tell you, though, every time that Spencer Jones takes another at bat, his value goes down. So am I right? Every time he pitches, every time he hits, it gets worse and worse for him. So I don't know what am I a big farm system guy and knows who all the? No, I am not.
Now I'll throw something out there. So Lindor, maybe you can find out where his contract is. But say they ride this season out, right?
Right.
And they bring in, who knows? Maybe they bring in Pujols or somebody else to come in and manage this team, and they get a clean slate next year. Maybe they sell a couple of guys at the trading deadline. Who knows? Met fans would have to turn around and tell me about their prospects. How are they looking here?
Well,
is next year going to be any better? I've heard that this thing isn't going to get improved in next year or next 2 years.
I'm going to answer two of your things right
Go
now.
ahead.
First of all, Lindor is signed through the 2031 season.
Okay.
And has a full no trade clause for every year of that season.
All
So
right.
the only way he's leaving is if he says I'll leave. So we'll know that. And number two, Pujols for the next manager. Pujols is a Soto guy.
Mhm.
That would be a Juan Soto move. Hiring Pujols.
You don't think a guy like Pujols would get those two guys together?
I mean, it's possible. It's
Now,
not impossible.
Forgive me. Was Lindor and Soto on the same baseball classic team or not?
Lindor didn't play. Hold on one second.
Because that was a pretty star-studded team.
No, Lindor is Puerto Rico.
Gotcha, okay.
And Soto's Dominican Republic.
Gotcha, okay,
They're
gotcha,
not on the
okay.
same. Now I remember Lindor didn't play in this World Baseball Classic this year. Soto did play. He played for the DR, but Lindor didn't play. But aside from that, it's just at least it's giving you something to talk about with the team because God, they've been so pathetic. How about last night? They give up 12 runs. They score 12 runs and lose. They get a 3-run Little League infield home run off of miserable fielding from the Royals, and they lose.
Well, this is the thing. The Royals have been a laughingstock ahead of this series. And now you've got two of the look, there's a lot of bad baseball going on in this league. We talked about this every week.
And you got a problem with everybody, all the baseball going around. Huh?
Well, there just is. I mean, you just have to look around,
tomorrow
look at the
we'll get into a little bit more. Like I said, on a Thursday, because we're not here next week, we got a lot of who you gots tomorrow.
But just when you think it couldn't get any lower as a Met fan, and you're tuned in and dialed in and watching that game last night.
Yeah.
My God.
It's true. Ben Rice in the home run derby, too. Don't get yourself excited about that.
It's a great story. His dad's going to throw in the pitches. I think it's a great
Will
opportunity.
he be one of the guys that their swing gets destroyed for the second half by being in the home run derby?
No, because I think because of the new rules, I don't think it's going to be as much wear and
Okay.
tear.
All right. I like that. I'll do a lot of all-star.
He's a young kid. What is he, 23 years
Yeah,
old? Come on.
I think it's cool. I think anybody who gets invited to do it, they should do it.
Absolutely.
And it's in Philadelphia, like I mentioned to you. Ball will jump out at that place. It's going to be a fun home run derby. We'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow for us moving forward. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, live from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. I have one more thing I want to bring up with you before we get out of here today, Paulie. But before I do, you still got to one more time tell everybody about what's going on at Borrelli's.
All right, broadcasting live every Tuesday and Wednesday, except for next week because we're going to be on vacation. 12 p.m. Eastern time. Check out all the archives. And if you missed the show, you want to tune in, go to gosportsradio.com and all the show links are up there. Anyway, 912 West Beach Street here in beautiful Long Beach. It's a gorgeous day here. We are just blocks away from the beach at Borrelli's. Awesome stuff. Come in off the beach. Come down to South Shore on Long Island. Come in and say hi to us. Come into Borrelli's anytime you want. So much stuff, great stuff going on, including tonight, Wednesday night, music theme night. We got Oasis theme night, live music tonight. The best of Oasis from 7 o'clock to about 9 p.m. Half-price bottle of wine and a $21 dinner special. So come on down for that. Tomorrow night is Thursday night, which is going to be carnivore night. So for $42.99, you get a choice of pork, veal, or steak, and a super salad, and a dessert, and bottomless beers, and endless wine. And now, 8 p.m., live music by Current and Company every Thursday night right here at Borrelli's. Come on down for that. Eat, drink, and enjoy the tunes. All for $42.99 in on the carnivore special. Or you can just come in here, no charge at all, and just hang out and have a couple drinks. Mention the CNC Carver podcast and get your first drink, Miller Lite Draft for free. And then just check out the band and go from there and have a great time. Kick off your weekend here. Friday. So pretty cool. First of all, we got to announce Frozen Fridays now here at Borrelli's from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. $8 pina coladas and margaritas right from the blenders. Bartender Tommy. All the guys, all the gals here, all the crew, Frozen Fridays. every Friday now, 12 to 9 p.m. $8 pina coladas and margaritas. Good stuff. Quench thirst. Get a little buzz on in the afternoon, taking you up to 9 p.m., starting at 12. Now, live music all weekend is brought to you this weekend by Rachel Schumacher. She's going to be here tomorrow, Friday night, 7 p.m., and Frankie Sims is going to DJ after her for the Friday night dance party. And then on Saturday, Rachel will be back here again at 7 p.m., followed by DJ TM Select for the Saturday night dance party. And then on Sunday Fun Day, Rachel Schumacher will be here again at 4 p.m., followed by DJ TM Select for the Sunday Fun Day dance party. All right. Now, as far as next week's concerned, bingo will be on Wednesday next week. Bingo Wednesday, brought to you by Red Bull with bartender Tommy. Calling out the numbers. Come on down, win some prizes, grapefruit specials. And again, the blenders are here now too. Get the frozen drinks, all that good stuff. So come on down for Bingo Wednesdays. Come down and win some cash prizes. It's always packed for Bingo because Tommy runs a great show, and it's a lot of fun. All right, now here's the comedy list coming up. Joe List will be here on July 14th. Jim Norton will be here on July 21st. Des Bishop will be here on July 29th. And Chris DiStefano will be here on August 5th. For all comedy tickets, go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com, click on events, and then also go to Eventbrite.com and search Borrelli's Comedy for all comedy tickets. A couple of cool other last notes here as far as the music theme nights coming up in July. The U2 tribute band New Year's Days will be back here on July 22nd. And then the last week, we're going to have Beach Country music theme night with the best of Kenny Chesney, Zach Brown, Jimmy Buffett, and more. So check out Borrelli'sTaproom.com for the upcoming music theme schedule. In addition to all the great live musicians playing here on the weekend as well, and the DJs, Borrelli's Taproom, the best place in town, here in Long Beach, 912 West Beach Street. On the island, baby. It's the best time of the year down here. Come on down, hang out with us. There you go, Mike.
I love it. It is the best time of the year to be down here. It is a beautiful doors open Wednesday at Borrelli's. I wish I could sit here
until football
all
season
day.
comes back, because then it's also the greatest time to be down here too.
It's great to be down here. By the way,
it's only a couple months away.
I knew this number already, and I think Eddie put it in the chat earlier.
Eddie,
I think the opening day of college football is 53 days away or something like that. Like, how great is that? That the World Cup got us to within 50 days of college football, and the NFL obviously will be right behind that. So, I mean, it is all happening here in a very big way. So I'm excited, big time for us. All right, before we leave, Paulie, we've done a lot today, but it's funny. It's almost like they're following us on television. That's what I'm about to bring up with you. It's like everything I've tried to do today. They follow
tennis.
us.
You're gonna bring up tennis?
No,
I didn't think so,
on the right TV there. It's everything.
You
So-
not talking about Wimbledon.
I don't even know who's still in Wimbledon.
Ace,
I have
love,
no clue who's
deuce,
even in it.
Match point.
We did obviously last week was the big week for free agency in both the NBA and the NHL.
Yes.
There was a lot that went on. There was a lot of things that happened.
So I know what you're going to talk about. The Islanders' new AHL affiliate.
Did you see those jerseys for the Hammers?
Hamilton Hammers.
The Hamilton
baby.
Hammers.
What a bunch of hammers.
I can't stand it. I
awful.
mean, you know what I hate?
Naming a team after an inanimate object is just
I mean,
like the worst thing in the world.
I hate that they let. That's such a nice little arena in Bridgeport. I hate
Sound
that
Tigers was awesome.
Yeah, La Tigre is the sound for us. But
So you're not talking about the Hammers?
no, I'm not.
Okay, all right.
So obviously LeBron is still the big guy that has not found a new home yet for us. And since we were last together, there was a couple different LeBron stories that have come out specifically for here with us in New York. There was a story 4 or 5 days ago that LeBron, whether it's LeBron is interested in the Knicks or the Knicks are interested in LeBron one way or the other in that aspect. And then his agent, Rich Paul, was on some show yesterday or last night and said that if the Knicks hadn't won the championship this year, LeBron would have already signed here. He says them winning the title is what has kind of held this up from happening, or not held up, but if the Knicks would have lost, it would have been a done deal that he would have came to New York and signed with the Knicks. And you know what? Good on the Knicks, because what I was going to say to you before I even saw the Rich Paul story was I think it would be an absolute awful move for them if they signed him coming off a title. I think that this group deserves to defend their championship. I think they deserve to defend it as it is. I think that next season, especially early in the season, should be about them coming into the year as defending champs and Brunson and Cat and all these guys getting their flowers and playing as champions, and the story not being, whether you like it or not, the sideshow that is going to be potentially LeBron's last season in the NBA. I don't think that should be the focus of the Knicks next season. I think the focus should be defending their title with the guys who won the title. So as cool as an idea as it is to think about LeBron playing in the Garden and playing for the Knicks and all that stuff, I agree with his agent. I think them winning a title, Paulie, has washed that away. If they would have lost, maybe it would have been a last piece type of thing to maybe try and win it. But now these guys deserve, and it's pretty much, obviously no Mitchell Robinson, but it's pretty much the same group is going to get to go out and try to defend this thing, and that's the way it should be.
I agree. I mean, it's funny, my son Anthony was talking about it too, and like all the kids, like, oh, LeBron might come to the Knicks and stuff, And then I sat him down. I said, well, what do you think that does to the team's chemistry? And I said, first of all, they don't need him.
No,
they really don't need him.
One without him.
And again, who sits? You break up. You break up this team chemistry. I don't think guys like Brunson and Hart, and I don't think Coach Brown. I think, and even where Dolan's at right now too. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think New York needs to bring LeBron because they have their own king right now. It's Jalen Brunson. They don't need him. I think you're right. If they don't win the championship this year, he's a free agent. He comes in here. Yeah, maybe it's different.
They look at him as the
and depending on how the Knicks finish the season. Do they lose in the finals? Are they still close enough or whatever? Right. It's not necessary. Please don't bring.
And this is not at all an indication on that. I don't think, because we have discussed this a lot last week when we said how he's not going back to Lakers. 41-year-old LeBron James can still play. He can absolutely still play. But there is a very large sideshow that comes with him being on your team. And the Knicks do not need that. They do not need it. Would they have tolerated it if they did lose again and they needed to try to finally break this, what would have been 54 years if they didn't win?
Well, don't they just have to look at the Lakers the last two seasons?
Yeah, but again,
no, seriously.
That's,
as far as the makeup.
Yeah, but was that really his fault? I mean, they were presented a situation to trade for a guy who is an all-world player, and it kind of made it his team, and I don't begrudge them for doing that. I think that LeBron probably does, but I don't begrudge them for doing that. It seems like it's still the same, like it's either going to be Cleveland or Golden State or
look. I think you knocked it out of the park. They won the championship. They're the champions.
They don't need
them. They've got a great nucleus of a team here that can probably defend this thing and probably get back there to the finals in the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. They've got a great coach. They've got an incredible organization. They don't need him. Don't need him.
Don't need him.
Let him go play somewhere else and let that be the detract. I think Knicks fans just, you start getting chills thinking about when they raise the banner next year.
Yeah.
And then, and the pride. And Jalen Brunson he's like I said, we've had Derek Jeters. We've had, you want to go back to the Islanders and Mike Bossy's and Traches and Dennis Poffins. I mean, this is a guy brought in here, developed, grown, won a championship here. And let's see what happens.
The focus on opening night when they raise that banner, as you just talked about, the focus that night should be about raising the banner, not LeBron's first game as a Knick. And that's what the focus will be.
Well, what did we all talk about this year with the Knicks? Team.
And I'm not saying LeBron's not a team player. LeBron he's won a ton in the NBA.
This doesn't make it about a team, though. But like you said,
it will be a one-man sideshow if he joins this team. A one-man sideshow. I think Cleveland's the story. That's where he should probably go.
The only way that he comes here, I think Brunson's got enough power to say, I want him.
Wrist surgery, yes, Eddie. Brunson is having wrist surgery. He's going to be ready for October, right. So that's okay. And you're right. If Brunson walked into Leon Rose and everybody and said, yeah, you know what? I think this is a good idea. And maybe, but he's the man now. And he won't be for a year. If LeBron comes in, he won't be. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. All right, we're back tomorrow at noon East.
Yes, we are.
And we have a lot to do because we're not here next week on vacation. We will give you who you got for all the World Cup for the entire weekend. Really, the whole tournament. I'll give you a whole tournament breakdown, who's going to win match by match, because we're not going to be here next week for the end. Home Run Derby, All-Star Week, Yankees, Dodgers the following weekend, Yankees, Nats this weekend. I don't know who the Mets are playing, but they're probably going to lose. So you have all of that on the table as well for us tomorrow.
The Hamilton Hammers and schedule might be released too soon. So,
And I mean,
exciting.
Frozen Fridays with Tommy on the horizon as well. Frozen Fridays.
By the way, the NHL schedule is going to release.
Is that Frozen going to be ready tomorrow, Tommy? Tomorrow is going to be Frozen Thursday for me. I'm trying the Frozen machine tomorrow before we head out. Oh, that's oh boy. All right. Tommy gave me the warning. I'm going to have to heed to that. Holy, great job as always.
And thanks to the gang in the
great
chats.
job by everybody in the
Appreciate it.
chat today. Mike Carver, Paul Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the Island. We'll see you tomorrow at noon East.